Yes, thank you. This meeting will be recorded. Just have to hit got it. And because we post it on our website for people who are unable to make the meeting. As always, my name is Amanda Roberts. I'm the president of the PTA, and I want to thank all of you for joining tonight. It is hard to believe it's already February. The board just ended our meeting, and I think we all agreed that we are all in a slightly better headspace than we were last time we met in early January, when Omicron was just insane. And I know things are not over, but you know, I think everybody, including Mrs. Prin and Mr. Bowerman, who worked so hard, and all the teachers and all the administration to keep our kids safe this last month, we really appreciate it. We appreciate that our kids can still go to school and, you know, have that enriching experience. So, and thank you to all of the parents. It's been really stressful to be the parent of young children over the last 2 years, but especially the last month. So well done. We're still standing. So thank you. So we're going to kick off our meeting here with Ms. Prin's report in a minute. I just did want to say that also, as we round the corner into the second half of the school year, you know, I think I hopefully can speak for others on the board in saying I feel like we're a little bit reinvigorated in terms of good things to come. We're all optimistic that the virus will get better in the coming months, the warm weather will return, and that there can be some returns of oldies but goodies like the science fair and international night and mini spring fling and things like that, that I know we've all missed as not just PTA events, but also community building events. I mean, we've all been physically separated for 2 years, and I think that takes a toll on a community. So it'll be wonderful to have these opportunities to actually physically get together, even if it's outdoors and masks, and you know, have these kinds of opportunities to meet. Actually, Kim and I were at a birthday party this weekend, and it was like, it was a little disconnecting to be like, hey, it's a real person, not just the person I talked to on Zoom. So we're excited for what will hopefully be a good spring. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Prin.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Thanks for coming. Thanks for spending your evening tonight on Zoom. As you said, as we had said before, things with COVID thankfully are slowing down really significantly. So we're really happy about that, and we're really still every day thrilled to have your children in the school building with us. I'll give just a short update, and then Mr. Bowerman also has a few things to share. One thing, I don't know if anybody watched the news. I haven't watched it actually, because I just came from school home to get on the meeting. But they did appoint the new superintendent today. So Dr. Monifa McKnight was appointed superintendent of Montgomery County Public Schools for, I think it was a 4-year contract. But if you remember, she actually started prior to Dr. Smith leaving, and then she became the acting. So she has been in the acting role since Dr. Smith retired, and today was appointed superintendent. So that's big news within the school system. I also wanted to share that because of still restrictions and trying to keep all the children and staff safe from and healthy, Valentine's Day is next week. It's coming up, and we didn't want to lose sight of finding a way that we could celebrate with children. We have 2 things going on. One is we have a committee called the Positive Behavior Student Culture Climate Committee. It's sort of the Cougar Club. They have worked to put together, along with Valentine's Day, Kindness Week. Next week, it'll be another Spirit Week. I know we just had one, but can't have too many Spirit Weeks in our mind. It's a way to celebrate. So teachers will be sending information. The staff members that worked on this tried to make it very easy for parents not to have to go to too much work to help their child come to school having fun next week. Monday is Valentine's Day. We will not be accepting food treats, no cupcakes, cookies, things like that, because of taking the masks off and eating. But what we will do is if children bring Valentines to share with the class that have, I don't know, the lollipops, the M&Ms, the fruit snacks, whatever they are, we will send those right home with them. So if your child wants to bring Valentines and it has candy attached, that's fine, but it'll just go home. What the teachers are planning to do is to do the Valentine exchange, and then as well as do a craft or an activity or a game, something fun for them with it during the school day on Monday. And then the kindness week will go throughout to the next Friday. So I wanted to share that will be coming. More information about that. It may have already come from your teachers or will be coming. Mr. Bowerman, did you want to share?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Prin. Hi, everybody. Good evening. I just want to echo Ms. Prin and thank you, despite all the challenges we faced in the 2+ years, just to thank you all again for all your hard work and patience and courage and support on your side of the screen and in your homes. We really appreciate everything. Just a couple quick updates. I'd like to say thank you to the PTA, Ms. Chittum, and our amazing 5th grade students. This past Thursday, we had a phenomenal PTA story night. It was a wonderful bedtime snuggle up and have some stories. We had around 28 people who attended a wonderful, fun evening. I was there myself with my kids. And I encourage you to spread the word for the next one. We're going to be doing another one, and stay tuned for that news when it comes up. And please join us for that. I think you'll really enjoy it with your families. In addition, I also wanted to send out or share out with you a little bit of information as well around an update for the COVID-19 antigen rapid tests distribution. So if you remember, not too long ago, you received a kit, orange box kit. That was a COVID-19 antigen rapid test. 2 tests were inside that box. The county is going to continue to provision families, in every school and staff in every school across the county with tests. We received tests that we're going to be distributing this week, tomorrow, and there are going to be other additional distributions coming as well. February 28th and March 1st, they're also going to be happening. They may plan some additional distributions beyond that, but currently we have, exactly, the baby was cheering us on. So that we do have a distribution this week. I'm going to be giving tests to families tomorrow, or excuse me, to staff tomorrow, and they will be distributing those to students. A box will go home. It has 2 tests in it. And then some recommendations for how those tests should be used, directions from the county, some guidance that when a student is identified as a close contact to someone who's been tested or identified as tested positive for COVID, you should use that rapid test 5 days after exposure. And when an unvaccinated student is in quarantine due to a contact, they use a rapid test on day 5 that would allow them to return after day 7 back to the school, so they wouldn't have to do a full 10-day quarantine if that test is negative, and they can provide that negative test result. Also, when a student has developed COVID-19 symptoms, the county recommends using that rapid test at the onset of symptoms to check and determine what the situation is. And then, of course, returning from any kind of travel or any large gatherings, it's recommended to use the rapid test before returning to school. And some of the recommendation for the county around how to use those tests. Ms. Prin and I continue to be available for any questions and conversations around the work we're doing in contact tracing and around the health and prevention care that's being used in the school. But as always, thank you very much for your support. And again, look this week, specifically tomorrow, for those tests to be coming home in your students' book bags for you to have at home. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions? All right. All right, moving along, we have Miss Stevenson with us tonight. Just our staff development teacher is going to talk a little bit about the tutoring services available. Thank you for joining us.
And I'll jump in before Ann, you start, because
Sure.
Ann is our staff development teacher for the school building. But she has also taken on to be our CARES tutoring lead teacher. And CARES is a grant funded to help mitigate the learning loss from the pandemic. And her role is to recruit and get teachers to want to provide tutoring services to target the specific areas of need that our students are showing is needed. And she has done such a great job. She comes in early for the morning sessions before school. She stays late for the after school sessions. And she answers all questions that come in about this. She reaches out to parents to try and work with them to get it, to see how we can get their child involved if it's recommended. And now she has taken on this additional step for if CARES is not an option for a student, but the interest is there for tutoring. She's taken on learning all about the different options available for families from companies that are now partnering with MCPS. So we're just really fortunate and to have you, this is Ann Stevenson, our staff development teacher. So with that, I'll turn it over to you.
I don't know that I'm an expert yet on all of these different platforms because they've been recently rolling out. So I have their demo videos and stuff because I think it gives parents an easier idea of what it looks like and how to log in, because of course I don't have a student login. So when I try and click the buttons, I get an error message. So I'm going to walk you through the two different platforms there are, what they look like and how you can access it for your child, and some different things along with my contact information. So with that, I'm going to share the presentation I have. So Montgomery County Public Schools, like Susie, Ms. Prince said, that we've partnershiped with two different companies. The first one is Fev Tutor, and the second one is Tutor Me Education. And they both have pros. They're both fully vetted by the county, and they have their own unique little twists to them. They've been selected because they have a history of working with kids. They're live instructors on the other end. They focus on well-being of students. They're rich in technology, and they align with MCPS curriculum. The first one that I'm going to really kind of dig us into is Fev Tutoring. This one has a built-in positive reinforcement system, but one of the highlights is if you are not comfortable having your child on video with another adult whom you've never met across the country or wherever they are, there is no video interaction with this platform. It is all through a chat. If you have a younger learner, there is a way to have the chat read to the students, so that's an option. But ideally, it's meant more for students in grades 3 through 12. So if you have kids in middle school or high school, this opportunity is available to them as well. Unfortunately, Fev Tutoring at this time, it does not come in French. Like, there is not a person on the other side to be able to teach in French. The platform is translated, but I'm gonna just lead, it's translated by Google. So whether or not that's going to be beneficial for your student who may be learning in the target language of French, it may not be. But I'm going to play their quick little, it's about 3 minutes of how the platform works.
Here at Fev Tutor, our mission is to affect change in education through leveraging technology to provide data-driven, highly targeted, live, one-to-one instruction that results in tangible academic growth. Our platform is device agnostic. As long as you have internet access, you can log in directly through fevtutor.com or through a single sign-on portal like Clever or ClassLink. Whether you're a student, educator, or administrator, through your Fev Tutor dashboard, you will have access to a variety of data and reporting resources. All of our lessons are recorded to provide a layer of accountability. Detailed information about each lesson is always available, in addition to more broad information such as attendance records, academic growth analytics, and participation details. We encourage students to schedule lessons in advance, but students also have the option to request on-demand sessions 24/7. To jump into a scheduled lesson, students simply click on the flashing red button at the top of their screen. They will be connected to their live personal tutor within seconds. Our virtual classroom provides students with an intuitive online learning environment that is easy to use and flexible to accommodate a variety of learning styles. The primary method of communication is the use of our chat box. Due to its anonymous nature, we find that students feel empowered to openly communicate with their instructors through text. Auditory learners have the option to activate our text-to-speech feature through the click of a button to hear their tutor's words read aloud. Verbal learners are able to speak directly to their tutors rather than using the chat box through the activation of their microphone by clicking on the headset icon right here. We also have a language toggle integrated into the virtual classroom to help English learners toggle back and forth between English and over 40 language options. Kinesthetic learners have opportunities throughout every lesson to engage with their tutor through the use of our synchronous two-way whiteboard and our whiteboard tools. Our instructional designs are flexible and are created with the intent to serve as an extension of your school ecosystem and goals. Students can log in for homework help or coursework support and share their screen or assignment files directly with their tutors.
Oh my goodness. It's been a while. Here we go.
Options.
I think we
Kinesthetic
get the
learners
idea
have
here on this platform to not finish it. I will show you exactly how you or your child will be able to log into this. But one of the highlights is they do have it. If your child is at home and learning through Eureka Math and they are learning how to multiply or divide in a manner that we have not learned, like the way we didn't learn growing up on multiplication, and they're struggling with their math homework, and you're struggling with communicating with your child because that's what happens when you try to help your child with homework, they can log in for immediate on-demand help where they can get that help that they need right away that might be more effective for your child. And that is possible on both platforms. So that's FEV Tutoring. The other one is Tutor Me Education. And one of the first things when I was learning about these different platforms on both of them was to ask, well, is it available in French? Because that our school has the needs in both languages of English and the target language of French. And so we went back with the Tutor Me Education Company, and they do have tutors, real humans that speak French, that would be able to help support our French language learners, which is really exciting for those of us learning in the target language of French. There is a two-way video audio chat situation available, and they do have it in all languages. I'm going to play this quick video. This one is more targeted to us at Montgomery County Public Schools. Okay.
Hello, MCPS students and families. Welcome to Tutor Me Education. We have partnered with Montgomery County Public Schools to provide unlimited one-on-one tutoring support accessible to all students. Each tutoring session is face-to-face with a live instructor utilizing our lessons-based platform, just like Zoom, but with an interactive whiteboard. Through Tutor Me Education, students can access tutors through two different ways. You can either have us handpick an expert tutor who will meet with you around your preferred schedule, or you can book an appointment with an available on-demand tutor for homework help and last-minute support. To request a handpicked tutor by one of our educational directors, you can skip to completing the tutor request form by clicking the blue Schedule Session button on the left. You will then be prompted to complete a quick form with your preferred subject and schedule. An education director will then contact you right away and set you up with the perfect tutor. For on-demand tutoring support, you can view the list of available tutors here. To filter through tutors by subject, click the drop-down and choose the subject you need help with. You will now see all the tutors that specialize in teaching the subject. To gain more insight into the different levels and classes they teach, please read their profile and listed subjects. Once you have selected the tutor you would like to book, click the Book button on the right-hand side to expand the tutor's calendar. Then, choose the date and time you would like to have your first session. Please provide the tutoring duration and any information about the topic you need help with. Once you have completed your preferences, click Confirm. The system will then automatically log you in using your MCPS Gmail credentials. This process can take up to 10 seconds, so please give the system enough time to load. You'll then be directed to a checkout page. Please make sure you've chosen the correct date and time. This will be when the session will occur. If the date and time are correct, click Confirm. If the session you have selected is starting soon, you can access the Lesson Space platform and begin tutoring with your tutor right away. If you scheduled a session for the future, you'll receive an email in your inbox with the session confirmation and link to join the session at your scheduled time. In order to ensure that you're prepared for the lesson, log into the Lesson Space to test out your camera and microphone ahead of time. You can also play around with the whiteboard and additional features. Finally, if you run into any issues or need any assistance, please feel free to email us at mcps@tutormeeducation.com or call our dedicated MCPS support team at 240-618-2549.
One thing to highlight that she said is that it's accessible through like a one-click login, which we're going to go through, meaning it is free to all MCPS families. You do not need to pay anything. You can choose the language that you would like your child to learn in French for the target language of French or English, whatever your child may need. With that, the one-click login way is...
Hello, MCPS students.
Apparently wanted us to watch that again. Sorry. They're going to log in through their Clever. My best recommendation is to have your child bring home their Chromebook and log in through their Chromebook, because if they are not logged into their own Google Chrome and all of that, it's going to give you an error message. So the easiest way to kind of avoid some of that hassle is to have them log in through their Chromebook. They'll open up a new Google Chrome page and they'll access their MCPS resources. You'll see I have mine up here in this top corner. For your child, it'll be in the same place. And they will click the Clever button. When they click Clever, it'll open up and it'll look like this. Now, TutorMe has currently had some issues syncing their platform onto the app of Clever. So at this second, I checked before I logged in to make sure I had the most up-to-date information. It's not yet there, and I've been reaching out with our contact within MCPS. It should be there any day. And as soon as I know that it's available, I will share out that it is, there, but you can always have your kid just kind of check in. You'll click the link and it'll bring you into your requesting your on-demand session there. And then you would be able to pick either right then, or you could say, you know what, Saturday mornings really are better for us to review a math concept or to do some reading together or science, whatever the content area is, they could do that on your schedule. So it doesn't have to be during the week or at a specific thing. What kind of works best for you, your family, and your child. And then you'll click the link, fill out as much detail as possible, and then they will follow up and reach out to you and kind of set that up for you. I've included my contact information. What's not easily visible here are the underscores. If you have any questions about any of these platforms or need help at all, please feel free to reach out, and I will be happy to help troubleshoot any of those areas with you and your child, or even have them come and your child and I can kind of work through how to log in if that's a barrier, whatever you guys need. Are there any questions on how to use these different platforms? I'm going to share the link for my presentation. While sharing, I couldn't access the share link.
No rush, that's just for after.
No worries.
Thank you. Any questions for Anne?
Just want to reinforce, it is free. No need to do the homework nightly, battle over, get your math homework done. with your child, they can log right in and get some help that way. I work a lot in the math. It could be any content area. Great.
Great. Thank you. I guess my only question is, will there be more communication from the school on this topic? Obviously, the people who are here, but I'm thinking about either Connect Ed or emails or flyers or anything like that sent home.
Yes, so teachers have been putting it in their newsletter, a link to the Montgomery County website that has a lot of the information on it, which I can also drop in the chat, hopefully right now. I feel out of practice with Zoom. I'm not on it like 24/7 anymore, and I feel very out of practice. I apologize. So this is the Montgomery County website for all the Tutor Me information. Teachers, like I said, have been adding it in their newsletter so parents can see it that way as well.
Okay, great. Patty, I'm thinking this might be something even we could put on like Facebook, right? Like, is your kid struggling with homework or do you need tutoring? Here are some resources available. Just as many communication methods as possible.
When we have families reach out, as Ann speaks with families that seek tutoring services, we are providing it. I believe it may be on our website. If not, we can add it also on the school website. It's certainly on the MCPS home, website as well. But I'm happy to also do a Connect Ed message on it.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Stevenson. All right. Any last questions or comments before we move on? All right. So we are now on to the fundraising update. Sandra? Sandra, are you there?
Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Just making dinner.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we have some fundraisers coming up. The next one is February 14th. And that is going to be at Panera in the Aspen Hill neighborhood. So it's not super close. I mean, it's not far, but yeah, it's so just be mindful of as you're going that make sure you're going to the right one. I will be sending out a flyer. A flyer will be going out in the students this weekend, hopefully. I guess Thursday or Friday they should be getting that. And so I know it's Valentine's Day, but like Amanda said in our PTA email, spoil the kids with macaroni and cheese, or I mean, they've got great food. So hopefully we can get a small turnout there. If you don't have plans for Valentine's Day, let that be your plan. And then our next fundraiser, I think everyone's going to be really excited about. It's at Chick-fil-A, and that is March 14th. This is the Chick-fil-A Research Row. We'll have more information coming. Sorry, let me come where my kids aren't. Yeah, that should be a great fundraiser. And then our book fair, we just scheduled this week. That is going to be March 28th. Through April 4th. And I've gotten some emails from people willing to help, but if anyone is able to help, that would be wonderful. I think we'll have a few hours each day. I need to coordinate with Mrs. Prin about what time they'll let us have it at the school. But I know Sharona is really excited about it. Yeah, we'll be selling books, and it should be great. So.
Great. And I would note, Sandra did a great job of overlapping the book fair with the science fair. And that was intentional because the science fair is on a Saturday morning. So we hope to have pretty decent traffic of kids. And this will be an opportunity for parents to walk down the hall to the library and participate in the book fair, and kind of in olden days, I think we would do it with like the parent teacher conference day. The idea being, trying to leverage opportunities when parents would be coming to the school anyway. Sandra, Natalie's going to pull a list for you of all of the parents who indicated they'd be willing to volunteer when they signed up for the science fair in particular. I'm sorry, book fair. So we can send a targeted email to them to get some more volunteers.
Okay. All right, and
The
then
other-
I guess
Go ahead.
forthcoming, there also will be in addition to with the international night, I think. No, Spring Fling. Sorry, Spring
Yeah.
Fling. When we have a date settled for that, we'll also be planning a silent auction. So
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that is still TBD, but I've mentioned this at previous meetings. The current thinking is Saturday morning. All of these may have an inside aspect, like the science fair. We reserved the cafeteria, which opens onto the playground, and depending on virus conditions, we may set up table, be inside or outside. And the thought is to combine, kind of have one big event, likely in May, likely a Saturday morning, that would be part international night, part mini spring fling, and silent auction to kind of be able to get together and celebrate that. And that would almost certainly be outdoors, except for maybe, bathrooms or something to that effect. So that's coming. And the other major fundraiser, of course, that we have going on is the t-shirt sales. Benjo's fantastic design. I mean, seriously, a fourth grader did that. And he submitted the original. It was hand drawn in pencil. And I was talking with his mom, and he took a ruler and made all of those hard lines, just hand drew it. And then he worked with Mr. Pilgrim to digitize it. And that t-shirt design is better than any professional could make. I'm convinced, but it was a fourth grader. And Mr. Pilgrim said that he took to the program right away. And he's like, yeah, I showed him for a couple minutes how to use this. And he just digitized it like that. So we are making just under $3 per t-shirt. And last check, we'd sold 56 t-shirts, but I expect that number to go up pretty substantially. But the main reminder on that one is it is time limited. You have to place your order by February 21st. And then all of those t-shirts are going to be shipped at one time to the school. That was a decision we made because if you shipped individually to the house, it's easier, but it was a lot more expensive because of individual shipping costs. So we're trying to keep down costs. And so Natalie, this is another ask. There is going to be a point when we're going to have probably, I don't know, a couple hundred t-shirts that are going to have to be sorted through and labeled and all of that. So that'll be another discrete ask that we're going to need volunteers for. I find the parents actually want to volunteer, and when you ask with something discrete, like will you come for 2 hours and do this thing, it's often pretty well received. So I know you didn't have a ask for spiritware per se, but if we can maybe, I'm not sure what the categories were, but
we had occasional tasks, so
perfect.
That would
perfect. That is exactly what we need. So yes, and thank you for putting the t-shirt link in the chat. But if you haven't ordered your shirt yet, go ahead and do it. It's a really great shirt. All right, any questions or comments on fundraising? All right. All right, so moving along, other business. I realized I just skipped ahead. Okay, I'd already said spiritware distribution volunteers, check. As always, we are seeking communications volunteers, communications chair, volunteers chair, and programs and events chair. And I'm pretty realistic about the fact that as we round into the second half of the year, I'm not sure that we're going to get people to do that so much as I started the meeting off with, I think we're hopefully entering a more normal state of things as we enter the spring. And I think it would be good to engage people as much as possible and have as a goal for the second half of the year, some community building and engagement. And so, yes, that's events, but that's also, volunteers and trying to remind everybody that, the value that we add as a PTA and the value of trying to build some of that community through some of this outreach and volunteers. And then, selfishly hoping that some of that next year translates into somebody who wants to be communications chair or volunteers chair or programs and events chair. But that's all, kind of getting a bit ahead of ourselves. And then all that's left is the open forum, kind of other topics, questions, concerns, comments, things that you want to discuss. All right. Well, as always, thank you for joining. We appreciate all that you are doing to make Maryvale a great place. If you didn't know this already, kindergarten orientation and the French immersion lottery are open. So if you or anybody you know has an incoming kindergartner, I do, make sure that you go see you register at your home school first, and then you can enter the lottery. And if Maryvale's your home school, you get to spend some quality time with Miss Furman in the office. And just kind of to spread the word. I'll be doing that a little bit around the neighborhood Facebook page, and already some parents are reaching out with questions. So it's good to be a resource for that. So it's exciting. All right. Well, thank you again, everybody, and we'll see you next month. Bye.